gets it direct, and we are made aware of exactly what's happening. That's what we do here on Saint Talk. Make sure that you are in the know and that everything that you're supposed to know is known and known from the correct source.
Hi, this is Chris. I'm unable to answer your call at this time. Please leave a name, a short message, and your number.
Yes, listeners. We will be trying to make that connection, and we will be trying to get on the line with us to get it from the horse's mouth, from the correct source, as it relates to what's happening medically across the region. And as that information becomes at hand, we will let you know. So here's what we're going to do at this time. We are going to look at our three main dailies here in TNT today, touching on them as to let you know what's happening or what has happened across the nation in the last 48 hours. So on the front page of today's Newsday, listeners, yes, around 60 houses flooded in Caroni Village, right? 3 being questioned in PC Gilk's homicide probe, cops held for cops killing. And oh my, who are to guard the guards? We may have to play that song here today, right? So, as I stated, we had apparently 48 hours of some serious inclement weather. And as they said, the ITCZ, the Intertropical Conversion Zone, would have dumped so much water over the past 48 hours. And of course, our brothers and sisters in Caroni would have been seriously affected as the Caroni overflowed its banks. And flooded headache, Korsha Latif moves her kitchen utensils to a higher ground after her Caroni Village, Caroni home was flooded out on Friday when the Caroni River overflowed its banks. So that's the front page, and oh my, how sad that is. And of course, some good news on the back page of today's Newsday. Trinidad and Tobago Jareem Richards Center, Kenya's Mike Makamba Nyan, and left the Switzerland compete in the men's 200 semifinals at Alexander's Stadium at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. So we know he's straight to the finals, and he was actually pulling up, winning in his heat comfortably. So we look out for our next best medal hope in the Birmingham Games, and that is our sprinter, Jareem Richards. On the front page of today's Express, government crackdown on rampant theft of copper metals. 6 months export ban. And that is how I started off stating that the effects and the impact of these copper thieves who would have ravished the TSTT lines in Mayaro. And you'd have seen the front page of the dailies this week where Mayaro were cut off in terms of that virtual world. And of course, it's having a negative impact. And we all know about the bell at the church, and that bell has not been recovered. Fortunately, they would have recovered some of the metal stolen from the Ministry of Works and Transport yard, I think, in Caroni, and persons were held, and one being a member of the Scrap Iron Dealers Association. And hats off to the Scrap Iron Dealers Association taking swift, firm, and immediate action on that member. So the government has acted based on this nuisance that is affecting the nation at this time. So the government has implemented a 6-month ban on export of copper and metals. So that is hoped. Also on the front page of today's Express, 100,000 reward offered for info leading to arrest. That's in relation to same copper and metal theft. Utilities spent 22 million on restoration work. Businessman charged And we hope that those are really what it is. Also on the front page of today's Express is Caroni hit by flood. Maroon residents of Caroni wade through flood waters to get to their homes following heavy rains, right, that caused the Caroni River to burst its banks yesterday. So that's it. And on the back page, easy does it. Trinidad and Tobago Jereen Richards cruises to the finish line ahead of Kenya's Mike in heat number 3 of the men's 200-meter semifinals at Alexander Stadium during Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England. Right? Dream alive. Great caption there. Dream alive. Jereen sends strong signal in defense of Commonwealth 200 meters title. Excellent. Right? And also on the front page of today's Guardian. Yes. Noel Ali salvages some of Leslie Ann Clifford's household items after part of her Lingua Barrackpore home collapsed yesterday. Right, how sad. And the TTPS incentive to catch scrap iron thieves has Wassa hit again. 100,000 reward, 22 million in damages to state infrastructure so far. 6 months ban on exports being weighed by cabinet. So we hope that 6-month ban comes to life in truth. And listen, listeners, remember, if you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. The Lotto pot jackpot in TNT tonight is 9 million smackaroos, right? So it's 9 million, right? And this is where we take the show down to that information and that sad part that we must be cognizant of, because coronavirus has not gone anywhere. Coronavirus is with us. And ladies and gentlemen, it is back on the rise. So, the global deaths of coronavirus thus far, today, August 6th, 2022, as we are about to celebrate 60 years of independence. Listen to this. The global deaths, 6,433,194 persons would have lost their lives as it relates to COVID-19. But what is even more disturbing, here's what Trinidad and Tobago's contribution to that figure. In our Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, 4,065 persons, 4,065 persons would have succumbed as a direct relation to coronavirus. So it is not ended, it has not ended, it has not gone anywhere, it's still with us. And actually on the rise. And here's what. Couva Hospital Multi-Training Facility. Remember those beautiful numbers we were calling a couple weekends back? Here are the numbers today. At the Couva Hospital and Multi-Training Facility, we have 71 patients. 71. 1 in ICU and 2 in HDU. At the Cora Hospital, we have 38 patients. At the Augustus Long Hospital, we have 24. At the St. Anne's General Hospital, we have 0, and that's the number and the target we are aiming for. At the Arima General Hospital, we have 14. Point Fortin Area Hospital, 0. At the St. James Medical Complex, 0. At the Scarborough Regional Hospital, that's at the Fort, we have 17. And at the Scarborough General Hospital, we have 2. So coronavirus is still very much with us. And as we say here on Sane Talk, the government has issued these preventative measures and given us a way to help ourselves, to protect ourselves. And they have stated it through the 3 W's. We here on Sane Talk have added an additional W, and of course, vaccination. So it's wear your mask, wash your hands, watch your distance and watch out for your neighbor. So yes, that is it. And you know we have had the introduction of monkeypox. Monkeypox. And there have been 2 cases reported in Barbados. And no offense to you, Barbados, with your type and styles and liberation in Barbados, but here's what. That monkeypox is spread by skin-to-skin contact. And in the United States, it has been recently stated as a public health emergency, and it is dominant. It is dominant in the gay or the LGBTQ, well, I think they are the whole alphabet now, community. And it is really mirroring what would have happened way back, as we know, with the AIDS epidemic, as it relates to persons who have latched on to that type of life. And so it's really from skin to skin friction. However, if one maintains as it relates to the prophylaxis for coronavirus, it also extends to help as it relates to all of those things. So the monkeypox is a direct skin to skin for contamination, for the passing on of that. So once you maintain that kind of distance and stuff, you would be fine. And I think there have not been any reported deaths thus far as it relates to that monkeypox. But we will get more and more precise and correct information when we make contact with our brothers and sisters there at the ERHA. And again, we extend apologies as it relates to the connectivity this morning, and of course, what has been happening with TSTT and its connections across our region. So we apologize for that. So what we're going to do is this morning, we're going to start off with a little music first, and then we come back as we try to see if we can get in contact with persons who are carded to come on at least between our 9 and 10 hour. Let's see if they still are available as it relates. So you see where that connectivity puts us off. So we're going to play a little music followed by a commercial break, and then we'll come back to you. So first up this morning, I would like you to sit back and take in this song as we come up with this. Tune in, listeners.
This is Radio Kaiso. I'm your host, Brother Mudaga. I'll be with you for the next hour. We have a heavy program coming at you. Music, news, sports, weather, traffic, plus giveaways and the prices. We have it all right here on Radio Kaiso. Jam in the soca. Always want to know how them radio people to stop Yankee so. Always want to know the people on the radio to stop the front so. So while I was in New York City, I had an opportunity. I went to radio institution. If you just see I got a tall American, she tell me put a little A inside the O.
Get new hammers and new pliers. Break down every phone you see. Sunday morning, we go marching with phone waving while we sing. They'll go all you and world of fools. And we march today, cause we want to say, they'll go away. From by Rosary through the city, wake up Selby, let him see. Stick some placard in the front yard, sing the words clear, let him hear. They'll go all you and world of fools. And we march today, cause we want to say, they'll go away.
Follow us on Instagram. #Mayara Radio.
And the next call will be Whitehall. Billy must be in we spree. Marcy playing, Blackjack saying, they'll go unplug, no more bug. They'll go all you and world of fools. And we march today, cause we want to say, they'll go away.
Follow us on Instagram. #Mayara Radio.
TSTT Pups. Boy, TSTT, we are watching
Mayara
people
Radio invites
listening.
you to support local businesses in our community.
Mayaro. Now you can get your children involved in sports. Yes, 361 Degree Academy is offering swimming, tennis, and netball classes at the Mayaro Resource Center. Come learn these sporting disciplines in a friendly, safe environment with national and international renowned coaches. Hey, starting soon will be volleyball and hockey. For more information, call 343-5253. Again, that number 343-5253. 361 Degree Academy. 1 degree further.
Indulge and enjoy the original local taste of tangy sugar cakes from Flavor Queen. Try our delicious pineapple, mint, almond, or cherry, and bring your taste buds to life with the flavors you love. Grab one today at Facade, The Food King, Soul Food, or Ocean Drive Family Mart. For wholesale purchases, please call 868-272-2347. Tangy sugar cakes from Flavor Queen. Indulge and enjoy.
For all your event accessory rentals or hardware supplies, check out Lee Tech Rentals. Get reasonable rates on tents, tables, chairs, stages, portable bars, and so much more. Also choose from our wide variety of construction tools and scaffolding for rent. Call us at 394-7864 or visit us at Solomon Street, Pierreville, Mayaro. Lee Tech Rentals for your event and construction supply rentals, providing a premium service to the community and people.
Presenting the relaunch of F1 Media House. At F1 Media House, we provide more than photography, videography, and live streaming services. We also offer private consultations and customized packages, each designed to ensure our clients' visions are brought to reality. We guarantee the ultimate service provider experience where you receive value for your money. To see our portfolio, log on to www.f1mediahouse.com or follow us on Instagram and Facebook. You can call 310-8402 or email f1mediahouselimited@gmail.com for more information.
Mayara Radio invites you to support local businesses in our community.
Mayaro. Now you can get your children involved in sports. Yes, 361 Degree Academy is offering swimming, tennis, and netball classes at the Mayaro Resource Center. Come learn these sporting disciplines in a friendly, safe environment with national and international renowned coaches. Hey, starting soon will be volleyball and hockey. For more information, call 343-5253. Again, that number 343-5253. 361 Degree Academy. 1 degree further.
Indulge and enjoy the original local taste of tangy sugar cakes from Flavor Queen. Try our delicious pineapple, mint, almond, or cherry and bring your taste buds to life with the flavors you love. Grab one today at Facade, The Food King, Soul Food, or Ocean Drive Family Mart. For wholesale purchases, please call 868-272-2347.
Yes, listeners, we are back. And good morning again from the city of Mayaro to all our listeners across the globe. And of course, you know, we are in August. And August, of course, is the greatest month in TNT. It is the only month in Trinidad and Tobago where the first day is a public holiday and one of the greatest holidays. As you know, Trinidad and Tobago were the first on the planet Earth to declare August 1st a national holiday in commemoration of African emancipation from that dreaded slavery. And of course, reparation is the word. It's time that the African diaspora is compensated for its suffering. Those who would have suffered less have been duly compensated. And as you know, the farmers that left Haiti and went to Louisiana and those areas, New Orleans and stuff, they were compensated just up the other day, right, for having to nicely pack up and go across there, and you were paid for doing that. Over 400 years of slavery where the most persons would have lost their lives in any incident. Slavery, there is nothing that has happened to mankind on the planet Earth that can compare to slavery in terms of suffering, type of bondage, and the type. Remember, the African man was the first globally traded commodity and was not even qualified or quantified as a human being, was considered as less than human. So, and the 31st of August, the last day of August, is also a public holiday here in TNT. And of course, that public holiday in 2022, Trinidad and Tobago would be celebrating its 60th anniversary of independence. Hats off to all those who would have contributed to that independence movement. And of course, the father of our nation would have spearheaded as it relates to the Honorable Dr. Eric Eustace Williams. And of course, this morning, so what is happening? Based on us coming out and opening back up of the economy as it relates, and 2 years of dormant celebration as it relates to independence on this 60th Jubilee of the independence of Trinidad and Tobago, the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, in collaboration even with the President, Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, have stated a number of great and exciting plans as it relates to celebrating our independence from independence to republic. And of course, we here at Saint Talk will keep you abreast, because one of the things that the commitments given is that no area on our Twin Island Republic would be left out, would be not included in the celebration of our 60th year anniversary of independence. And the Honorable Camille Robinson Regis heads a team looking at had the celebrations, and Her Excellency is having her own celebrations also as our Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces. And as such, we look for exciting times as it relates to the celebrations. And let's give you just a little snippet of what's to come, as we will also come back as it relates to our own community and what's happening tomorrow. So, just to give you a quick, some of the initiatives that would be taking place as it relates to our celebration. And it's the 60th year of independence, 1962 to 2022, Diamond Jubilee, all right? So the schedule of activities to commemorate the 60th anniversary of independence, all right, starts off a number of initiatives, and they are the 60 to 60 Road to Independence, and there are different types of celebrations as it relates to what has been done. And there's a vacation camp, that is the youth activity. There's the commissioning of the National Pride, and that is the that is the commissioning anniversary 60th year of TNT Regiment. All right, the 60th anniversary logo, the youth social media competition. So those persons who live and who are experts at the TikTok and all the various platforms, the youth social media competition, for love of country social media campaign also, right? Those as just then there's also my favorite here, and of course Pan on a Higher Note, right? Cultural concerts. Then there's Forge from the Love of Liberty, right? And that is a concert series also, and it'll go into various places. Concert series highlighting our nation's musical legacy to the public, in collaboration with Tuco and Cut. So that would be all over the island, of course, and complete installation of all decorations across our government buildings, across the nation, flags and bounties and that kind of thing. And then there's the Ministry of Agriculture Exposition, and that's from August 19th to the 21st. And then there's Pan Festival Series, culture competition events. Then there's the Prime Minister's multi-venue art exhibition and Road to Independence, a theoretical performance. So theater is involved there also. And wow, it's a whole month of events. And as they tie up those specifics, we will give you those clearly here. But it's a month long of a number of events. And of course, Pan on a Higher Note is the one that I would be looking forward to as it relates to Trinidad and Tobago's celebration for independence. So look forward to many things. Stay tuned, and we'll try to bring you that here on Say Talk on Miaro Radio. Happening tomorrow, listeners. Tomorrow, it's the start of the Miaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation Week, and it kicks off here in the city of Miaro at the Miaro Government Primary School Recreation Ground. And that starts with a parade from the BPTT Resource Center. And that parade is scheduled to start from 7 in the morning. And then there is a formal opening at 9:30 at the Miaro Government Primary School Recreation Ground, where the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development is expected to be there, along with the Member of Parliament for Miaro, and of course, the first citizen who is the leading representative within our region here. The first citizen will be hosting all these fine gentlemen, along with the entire council, workers, and their spouses and family and friends. And all of the children of our region will be invited there. for the afternoon session, as they have a children's jamboree after lunch. So the formal settings, I think that, as you would have heard last weekend, right here on Saint Talk, given by our first citizens as it relates to his plans for the celebration of the week, where they'll be doing some awards. Of course, starting off with the asking for divine guidance for our region and to open up the hearts and minds of the persons of our region as it relates to the celebration of the recognition of the existence of the Miaro Regional Corporation. And a whole week of activities is planned and given, as would have been stated by the first citizen last week right here. So that kicks off tomorrow morning, listeners, from 7 a.m. with a parade from the Miaro Resource Center to the Miaro Government Primary School ground. And then a whole day of activities is catered for that venue. Now, added to that, on Friday 12th, listeners, the Nariva Miaro District Youth Council, who have been doing such wonderful and great work across the entire region, which is the voice of youth in our region, and it is the forum or the organization that is making sure that youth representation in everything that happens in our region is front and center. And hats off to the entire executive of the Nariva Miaro District Youth Council as they are putting on their gala event right here again in the city of Miaro at the BPTT Resource Center on Friday the 12th. They have their gala award functions in terms of youth across our region, and this is for the entire region, who would have excelled in different areas. And of course, you know, at that function, that would be broadcast live over social media. So make sure and lock in and see, as they will be giving a report to the region as to what has been happening with the Nariva Miaro District Youth Council, what are their plans going forward, and how they have impacted and plan to impact. That organization is the youth organization of our region, and they have an excellent networking system as it relates to what's happening across our nation to make sure that our region is not left out in the overall development plan of Trinidad and Tobago. So great work there from the Nariva Miaro District Youth Council, and all the best on their upcoming gala and all the success with that. Unfortunately, I would not be at the gala based on the fact that prior commitments. However, I do wish them all the success. As you all know, and all our listeners here on Saint Talk, and all our listeners across the globe knows that I am the oldest youth in the entire region. And unfortunately, of course, I will have to send a little voice note or something and plead with those in charge to have that voice note played, because you cannot have a youth gala function and the oldest youth in the region does not have a presence there. So hats off to the Nariva Miaro District Youth Council as it relates to same. So coming up, what's happening in our region here? What's happening? Right, we know that we would have been cut off entirely by TSTT, and of course a direct impact of the copper thieves in terms of its wires and the pulling down of that. Night before, we had the Naparima Miaro Road was cut off for about a half hour. A fallen tree in the teak on the way to Rio Claro. That was quickly cleared by the authorities, fire services and stuff. They responded immediately, and at least to get a pathway through where traffic could have moved. As you know, we were in the midst of that inclement weather. All right, flooding in some areas within our region. However, what first and foremost stands out, there were no reported loss of lives, while there were persons who were affected. We know our sister was laid to rest coming out of condolences to the Cadogan and Sydney family on our dear sister Linda Cadogan. Rest in peace. So another brother who would have left us while from South, but would have impacted in terms of our community, that was our brother Navarro, and Rasta, a cool brother, a really cool brother who would have passed away and was buried on Friday in San Fernando. Condolences to the family and friends, co-workers there at Galeota and stuff, on the passing of that brother. Right. So, coming up also, and soon to be, is that there have been talks of the opening of the Razak Jan BPTT sponsored Miaro Football League. And we know that that is coming up. We will try to contact the All Miaro Sports Foundation to see if they can give us some kind of update on what's happening with that as it relates to the opening of that football, and of course the categories and age groups of that competition that is supposed to start soon. We know that we are having the inclement weathers, and our grounds in our region are feeling the full brunt as it relates to that. And another cap that I wear as it relates to the chairperson of the subcommittee of the Miaro Claro Regional Corporation, Sports and Youth Affairs, I am hoping that some kind of communication would come to me as it relates to that. So in my other cap, we could see how things can be done to make sure that it gets all the assistance that is required for it. But no information has come to me thus far on the exact opening date and whatever. What are their plans as it relates to the league? So I await some kind of communication as it relates to same, so that the assistance of the local government can be placed fully to support one of the initiatives as it relates to our youngsters within our region. So we look forward to the coming of that football league. So we hope that teams are getting ready. And, you know, I'm making a pitch as it relates to the corporate region of Miaro Claro, in that try and jump out, try and assist the teams and stuff in terms of being prepared, the uniforms, balls, coolers, and that kind of thing. Transportation for some as it relates to participation in sporting activities across our region. Right? So great. So what's happening at this time also at the national level is that Trinidad and Tobago on its own have taken a position and has organized to have carnival in October. Right? There are some pluses and some concerns also, in that already there is not a single available flight still as it relates. In other words, all flights are booked up for Tobago for the entire month of October. So even if you want to go to Tobago, I suggest that these guys with the pirogue probably take all these nets and put them higher up on the bank. As we know, the seaweed is back. How sad as it relates, the seaweed is back. So our fisher folks are affected negatively again. And so maybe we may need to organize to do some trips to Tobago for those wishing to go to Tobago. But Tobago, as it is alleged, has hit the national perspective a slap in their face, whereby the Tobago House of Assembly has declined to include the NCC, which is the National Carnival Commission, which is responsible for carnival across our Tune Island Republic, have refused to include NCC in the preparation of the Tobago Carnival. It has been stated by the chairman of the NCC that they would have had some online meetings, and those ended in abeyance. They ended where they had reached nothing as it relates to what's happening. And the Tobago have sent a contingent of 10 persons to Grenada for Grenada Carnival this weekend. And hats off to Grenada and happy Carnival in Grenada this weekend. And they would be trying to forge a relationship with Grenada as it relates to the Tobago Carnival in October. We know that Trinidad Carnival is replicated all over the globe. In fact, Trinidad and Tobago impacts and have a direct participation in terms of Carnival all over the globe. It's unfortunate that our brothers and sisters across there in the sister isle is doing it, trying to exclude the combination of Trinidad and Tobago and to go it alone. I hope they know what they're doing as it relates to same. But to me, that seems a little bit shaky. And since everyone across the globe wants to make their carnival like Trinidad and Tobago Carnival, I'm all for inviting our brothers and sisters in Grenada. However, in terms of the exclusion of the national body who has responsibility for Carnival in terms of the Tobago Carnival, I think there's some question marks hanging over that needs to be cleared up as it relates to that. Because the funding for those persons going on those things comes indirectly and directly from the Treasury of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Hence, that alone gives every citizen the right to ask a question and get a report on what's happening with that. That does not seem very nice. Because if you want to go it alone, you all are sending messages of that separation. However, reports coming in is that idea of that separation. If you're doing it as it relates to Carnival and development of Carnival and Tobago. Remember, listeners, you know something that just came to mind? Just to remind listeners, the idea of Carnival in October in Tobago was the idea of the current NCC chairman. That is the first person who wanted a separate carnival in Tobago and in October also. So you have the person who born the idea of Carnival in Tobago in October, the person who came up with the idea, who is the current chairman of the NCC, and you all have excluded the person who gave you the idea of Carnival in October in Tobago. And you all have, so you all had a plus, a win-win-win situation where the person who would have articulated, who would have brought to the national community the idea of Carnival in October in Tobago, when Tobago now has decided, hey, we're going to have a Carnival in October, the person who is in charge of NCT, the national arm of taking care of Carnival, you all have excluded that organization and that gentleman as it relates to the Carnival. Now, questions there. Right? Mind you, I hope. Now, yes, that situation needs some more people. So if you are trying to fashion the Tobago Carnival in terms of a Grenada Carnival, but the Grenada Carnival has had interactions with the NCC and Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. Remember, the country is Trinidad and Tobago, which is made up of two islands. Trinidad is an island and Tobago is an island. But the country is Trinidad and Tobago, and we must never forget that. So those who are temporary in authority, who may try to put that separation. Anyway, long rope for Magagut. Anyhow, let's move on as it relates to that. So, Tobago Carnival, authorities need more flights, and you need to make the Tobago Carnival our carnival. As in other words, Carnival Part 2. And let me just give you a hint. You know, Borrowday in Point Fortin is advertised overseas not as Borrow Day, but as Point Fortin Carnival. And if Point Fortin Carnival says that here's what, we only want persons after Labre as participants in Point Fortin Carnival, what would happen? You know, there are direct charter flights coming out of New York, coming out of Toronto, coming out of Miami to come to Trinidad specific for Point Fortin Carnival. And let me plug a note right here now. Mayaro Carnival is soon to come. Okay, let me repeat. Mayaro Carnival is soon to come. Preliminary startup talks have already included from the very top. Preliminary, very normal, casual conversations have already started. Nothing formal, nothing documented. So don't go and say that Seine Talk stated so. Preliminary talks have already been entailed as it relates to the chairman of the NCC, as it relates to Mayaro Carnival. Stay tuned for the development of that. And Mayaro Carnival includes all of Trinidad and Tobago and all of the planet called Earth. So we don't want no separation. We want the island to lean for that weekend of Mayaro Carnival where all will be invited. Of course, Wassa have to step up its game before that, all right? Because we continue to see what's happening. So that is what's happening from a national perspective. The Tobago Carnival, no flights. Tobago is excluding other artists from Trinidad or band leaders or persons who may want to do things in Tobago. You have to come through a Tobago-specific entity in terms of your inclusion in the carnival in Tobago. I hope that probably somebody, as it relates to the Tobago House of Assembly, could kind of clear up all those things as to what is the game plan there, as October is very close on us. So all the best to you, our brothers and sisters in Tobago. And remember, Charles Sladden is from Tobago. So any of you who was saying talk or they can't talk about Tobago, sorry, hard luck. All right, so this is it. We hope that the air is clear as it relates to Tobago. And we hope that somebody in Tobago, that good sense will prevail and understand that the NCC, the National Carnival Commission, is the governing body for Carnival Trinidad and Tobago. Not any part by itself, Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, if you are taking state funding to do these activities, the state body that is responsible must be on top of things as it relates to that. So that is enough said there. Right, so we look forward to our kickoff in terms of our celebrations here in the region starting tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow from 7 a.m. with the parade from the BPTT Resource Center out to the Mayaro Government School ground. And of course, there they will have their interreligious kickoff along with some presentations and some speeches of some very important persons as our First Citizens host a number of dignitaries in his region tomorrow. The First Citizen, hats off to you and your initiative. And we look forward to a great day tomorrow. And we hope that God will smile on us to this great weather that we're having here today. So here's what. We're going and think our next song here now. But here what happened. You know how we here on Seine Talk, we don't do anything by guess, right? And if it's one thing about Mayaro Radio is that when we say the word guess, what we mean is people coming to our area to spend money. So you coming to buy out all the roast fish, you're coming to buy out all the zabuka, the coconuts, everything, all the flex brooms along the routes. Right, so that is what all the bread and bakes. In fact, call for your orders from Dong Labre because the dirt ovens, we want to make sure that your order is in sight so you don't come to the area and miss out. All right? So we want to play a song to tell you about we in TNT. So the Lord funny, sweet TNT. Sit back, listeners across the globe, taking this. And of course, this says it all. All right? So, funny with sweet TNT.
Foreigners always asking me why in Trinidad people so happy what to do. Man, I have to tell them the truth. I say a man could sleep until 10 o'clock, get up and still he ain't late for work, way hurry for. He getting transport in front the door. And this poker boat they go in whole day and on payday still draw a big fat pay if they like. They could call a big strike. So I tell them sweet Trinidad, what's I love this country bad. I don't want to leave at all. Ever since I small look up all in sweet Trinidad. Brother, father, feeling glad. When I dead, we bury me in the center of the city. Yes. Tell you. We got to be big oil deal just in some we have all kind of things to talk about, no regret. You just have to get up and get. And anytime things are a little bad, man, you have a garden in your backyard and no doubt the food almost in your mouth. We got women color, class or creed, any kind of a woman that you need, you could bet. The sweetest woman you could get. So I tell you, sweet Trinidad, 'cause I love this country bad. I don't want to leave at all. Ever since I'm small, look up all in sweet Trinidad. Brother, us are feeling glad. When I dead, please bury me in the center of the city. Yes. Tell you. In Trinidad, crime don't pay. No, it can't happen down here. No day, and of course, we got a brilliant police force. Them young fellas, they wanna walk. Man, they lining and fetting round the clock. And yes, friend, they always have money to spend. Them beggars, where they want the house for when they could sleep in front of any store.
Yes, sweet TNT. A man could sleep until 12 o'clock, get up, get ready, and still here late for work. That time have passed. As you know, listeners, 002. The first 3 years, by the second 3 years, 002. 4%. Remember when a 5% offer was made and rejected, 9 years later, workers came back and settled for that same 5%. So it meant that you end up taking 9 by 3 years before you get your payment that you could have gotten 13 years earlier. So if you got $100 13 years ago, and you would have been able to buy a 15-piece in KFC, when you get $100 now, you realize you could only buy a 6-piece. So there is no progress without struggle, right? And comrades must understand that the most daughter statement is eat little and live long. It must be what has always stood from day one. I trying to start, I know it's pre-1937, but I say 1937. A fair day's pay for a fair day's work. But I also know workers, comrades, listeners, the working class people of our beautiful Twin Island Republic. Let persons enjoy the fruits of their labor while they can. So if you want to go on these struggles and saying that here's what's happening, we cannot accept that 4% at the moment. Please make sure and let the workers know what exactly is your plan, because tomorrow is not assured for each and every one of us. There are some of us who will be here today, and by next week, tent and bamboo and fish broth and pilau and coffee and cheese sandwich and biscuit and cheese being made. So the thing is, please also keep in mind that little factor that let the worker enjoy the fruits of their labor while they can. I sure every listener can give an example of a person who was work hungry, money hungry, and deciding that they will start to live when they acquire a certain amount of money, and was quite successful in acquiring a large sum of money. However, when they got that large sum of money, their health was totally in a mess that they could not enjoy the fruits of their labor. I'm saying all that to say, if you know you're going to battle concerning the 4%, ask yourself if all of the followers, all of the members can do what you think you can do. Because there are some of us existing today, right? And they may be afraid to say it, who may say, here's what, if I'm getting the 4 now, better I take this 4 now and look to battle within the negotiations for better terms and conditions of sick leaves, health benefits, medical plan, pension plan, those kinds of things, increased holidays and that kind of thing. May I take that monetary settlement of gain of 4% now, because I need it now, and instead of raising the battle for just pay, focus the battle on other benefits as it relates to him. I'm just saying, because remember, the trade union leaders are supposed to take directive from the membership. The membership now are sometimes scared based on what is the position stated by these persons. Of course, we know most of them may have political ambitions, and nothing is wrong with that. However, do not take your membership for a ride based on your own ambitions, but always have them on board as it relates. So sometimes it may be that some of us, here's what, we going and retire in a year or 2, and here what happening now, I want my 4% now, because in a year or 2 that battle might go on, and those in authority are saying, let's take it to the other place. And saying that let's take it to the other place, there has to be a catch behind that, It means now that it will be seen on a global factor, and what is happening globally. You heard of, what is it, Sri Lanka, and this, whose economy just went whoop. Workers, you have to send your message from your personal level straight up, that here's what, maybe. Anyhow, let's move on with the program. Pan. Rest in peace, the honorable brother of our nation, whose vision was, sometime before himself. And rest in peace, former Prime Minister Patrick Manning, who would have stated that pan is our national instrument. But here's what, they needed to be formalized, and formalized in the Parliament of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm saying all that to say, there was a person who's aspiring to the highest office in our land, who said, if all you give a chance again, going to make a pan factory for you. as an emancipation speech. To each his own. How you take that, you take that. But there are about 7 pan factories existing already. And in terms of giving something, if we put you back into power and you come up with a pan factory, I think our intelligence would have suffered a blow there. All right. In fact, let's change it to here. What's going on? Pan is wheating. Pan is the only musical invention in the 20th century. Pan can play anything, and we know in Trinidad and Tobago we no longer beat pan, we play pan. And with that, I going and come up right now and dedicate 2 songs to pan. So here we're going to start off with David Rudder, followed by Dr. Black Stallion, with one of the greatest stage performances ever in the history of shows at the grandstand. So take it away, DJ, with David Rudder and Dedication.
Out of vain, this culture was born. In life's shadowed places, the magic was born. Well, the tribes, they regrouped again, fought their wars on a brand new plane, and through their strife, their manhood was reborn. And so from all this bacchanal, life is now a festival, and you can hear the children sing. Hear them singing. This great song was written for the pan man, to all those who shown their dedication.
Amoko Radix, Texaco Rhapsody.
From a hunger came a fever, from that field we shaped the sea.
From the 1940s, Ozone.
Help to clear the path that we could see through. So now we children, they have a source. So very trim, big onion of gold. Out of a muddy pond, 10,000 flowers bloom.
Texaco Rhapsody. Amoko Radix. Yeah, here Coxie on the tenor. Here Coxie on the tenor.
Not one name, not one will I call, because the name of you will make the others seem small. But I hope when they hear my song, it will keep them proud and strong. And the ones with a man might just shrug and sing along.
Need a second carb case for Coxie. Carries that channel good. Need a second carb case.
Because we know this song could never be in vain. Let me sing it. This great song was written for the pan man, to all those who shown their dedication. Out of yesterday's rejection, onward to a new perfection. From a hunger came a field, from that field we shaped the steel. So we sing a song of praise for those who helped to clear the path that we could see through. So now we children, they have a source. So very trim, big onion of gold. Out of a muddy pond, 10,000 flowers bloom.
2009, and you're gonna witness and listen to some of the best players in the business. Play some music. Play some music. little closer with your band. Let me have a cool conversation. Mr. Pan is playing me some solo. For some of we long time hero. You know the Vultures wouldn't remember. Then it's me who should get together and play the artists of Tuesday who bring we culture here today. So come on and play one for Winston Free. A sweet song in melody. Yes, a melody to bring back so much memory of all the beautiful things Winston did. Just so play one. Batiste is the name of the man. Miss Fan Lady, don't feel that a dread. I ain't come out to push no notice head. But I want you to remember how all them field banders suffer when they want better for carnival. Yes, they want to make the bacchanal. You know it is steel band people they asking, and not one thing they ain't doing. So I want you to play one sweet melody. Play one for the Lord Shorty. A melody to bring back so much memory of all the beautiful tunes Shorty made for we. Play one. How about a round of applause for the lady?
Coming up after its special delivery, of course, with his special delivery. So keep that dialogue. Stay tuned to Mayara Radio.
Any part of the world now you go, people know about Silvan and Calypso. They don't tell you the biggest bacchanal is in Trinidad Carnival. So people start bypassing Rio and coming here to Trinbago and Valbon they want to save pleasure. So people who come out the culture. So come on and play one sweet melody. Play one for we brother Wiley. We're melody to bring back so much memory of all the beautiful bats Wiley played for we. Play one. Brooks is the name of the man. Mr. Palman, don't feel that a dread. I come out to put no notice. It have people here in the country who don't care what blast they think about we. Want to make bread for the carnival and so enjoy the festival. And you get the carnival over. They don't care about the world about culture. So come on and play one sweet melody. Play a melody for the Lord making she a melody to bring back so much memory of all the beautiful roadmaps that she made for we play. How about a round of applause again for Professor Phil Boyd?
Hit the drum